go ahead and start it off.
Well, how are you feeling coming off the injury and playing such a heavy load, like right off the bat? How's your body holding up to the demands of playing high-level minutes at a rate you haven't had to do before at this level?
My body's holding up pretty well. I'm taking care of it every day, getting the necessary treatment I need to be able to go out there and produce for the team. So, it was a bit of a change. I had to get adjusted to, the first couple games, but, I think my body's, I'm adjusted now and ready to go.
What was it like the first time you heard the PA announcer call out Eugene Brown III as a starter? What was that moment like?
It was a pretty big moment. It was on a away game, so I didn't get rid of, fulfill it and embrace it, fully. But, it was still something that brought, some joy. I just try to stay locked in, stay in the moment.
Was it any different hearing it at home for the first time?
Yeah, it was, with the crowd and everything, the, elongated, Eugene, just all the extra stuff, the ad-libs, it made it more special.
How validating for you is it to be, a regular starter for this team now? And is that a clear sign that maybe you've been looking for, that, your hard work is paying off and you are taking the strides that you wanted to?
I don't know if it's a clear sign. It's not really about, starting. It's about, who's finishing, how you're playing, all that stuff. So, of course, I love starting, being able to help my team off the get-go. But I feel like it's definitely a validation of just the hard work that I've been putting in and just, staying the course, trusting the coaches, the team, the process, basically.
And what about your performance the other night? Obviously, 10 big points for the Buckeyes. How comfortable did you feel out there? And can you, take that and go to the next level now here in the next few games?
I'm starting to feel a bit more trusted just by, everyone, coaches, players, fans. So I think it's giving me a little bit of confidence. Just going out there and just playing my game, being myself, it's allowing me to help the team.
How have you seen yourself grow over the course of the past 2 years? Is there one area of your game that stands out the most?
I would definitely say, just probably my offensive game. Because, last year was a lot of, spot-up stuff. Wasn't really doing much. But now I feel like, I'm able to do a couple more things with the ball in my hands, see stuff going on. And, of course, my defense, that's always getting better, locking into the details and stuff like that.
That's one of the things that your coach has said in the past he wants to see you grow in is your offensive approach. How is the coaching staff, how has your teammates kind of challenged you in being kind of, that increased offensive guy, not only, showcasing your defensive versatility, but kind of being out there as like a guy that can be counted on offensively?
Kind of just the trust and, the stuff they put in me, telling me to just be aggressive, stay aggressive. They don't care if I'm missing shots, stuff like that. If I'm taking good shots, the shots that, are within the plays and the system, then, everybody's down for it. So it's just giving me confidence.
What do you think you did to get into the starting five? Specifically, was there anything you were told, or is there anything you felt like you were making progress in to become a starter?
Not necessarily. I know Coach told me, he wanted me to become a more efficient shooter, to get more playing time, and then of course my defense and everything. So I think me not playing at that Rutgers game, or they had a lot of like-sized guys for me, I was going to play that game, but of course I didn't with the injury. So I think that Michigan game, that was a chance for me to go out there and use my versatility on the defensive end. I think that's why I got the starting role.
And coming from high school, I assume you were one of the bigger guys just in general. How much did last year help kind of just transition? I know you probably didn't play as much as you wanted to and have the role, but just having that year to kind of play but not necessarily be a major factor, did that help you adjust to college game and kind of figuring out where exactly you fit within the scheme of things here?
Yeah, I think it did. Just talking to the leaders that we had last year, CJ, of course, EJ, all those guys, just getting a secondary view and their viewpoint of, how the things are going, season, stuff like that. It was able to just, allow me to get ready for this year.
Do you feel the game's still slowing down for you? I know that you're not really a new guy anymore at all, but your minutes are increasing with each game. Do you feel it's still slowing down, or do you think you're completely up to speed? Do you think?
No, I think it's definitely still slowing down. Just for the adjustment with all the minutes, getting out there and, being more aggressive. Of course, it's going to take a little bit just for the game to fully slow down, but it's definitely been improved.
You're a pretty versatile guy defensively. You give this team a lot, but Jamari kind of sets the tone for what you guys do out on the perimeter on the defensive end. he's a really experienced guy. What have you learned from him this year, and what can you take away from his game that might help you become even more versatile and even better on the defensive end?
I've learned a lot from him, actually. So, when we're covering ball screens, I've asked him a couple questions about how you do this, how you do that, rotational stuff, just all the, ins and outs that he probably knows just from being a defensive player for, 5 years or whatever. I kind of just, pick his brain about stuff like that to make my game better.
When we've talked with Chris Holman just these last couple weeks, he's mentioned that this stretch run is going to be really a big test for your team and whatnot. Starting with Illinois on Thursday, with the way you guys played them last year in the Big Ten tournament, how big is this stretch run in your opinion, just the way your team's going to approach going into March?
I feel like this game, basically starting with the Illinois game, is a big one because, we beat them last year at their place. They beat us here at our place, and then, the overtime and Big Ten tournament. So I think it's the competition is still going to be there. It's going to be a real competitive game. Of course, Kofi's he's a beast. So, we got players they got to worry about too. So it's going to be a great game, and I'm just excited to get this stretch on the way.
How do you and the rest of your teammates plan to approach playing a guy like Kofi and Trent Frazier, Curbelo, and whatnot going into Illinois on Thursday?
It's just going to be game plan. We always game plan for every team we play. So I think game plan is just a little bit of, fight and heart will get us to that game.
Eugene, what was that block like that you had against Indiana where you had the guy kind of on the breakaway and you shot it down pretty quickly? What's a moment like that like, and how do you feel that spark a team a little bit?
That's something I used to be known for in high school, actually, was, going and blocking shots like that. So it just felt good to, kind of, relive that and bring that side back out. So, blocks like that always give your team a great boost of energy, especially off of a turnover that it happened on. So, it was just great.
And you mentioned the Rutgers game, and I was, after that game, I was thinking about how I think if you play that game, you guys probably win. It seemed like your length and athleticism probably would have given you another ability against Rutgers. I don't know, what was it like for you watching that game and knowing that seemed to be a game that was kind of tailor-made for your skills and you couldn't play?
It was tough, of course. I talked to Coach about it before the game, but it was nothing we could do about it. I needed to sit out just to, be where I'm at right now, to be healthy. So it was just a decision we had to make.
Was defensive versatility in that part of your game, was that something that you kind of, not always a part of it, like back in high school, back when you started playing? Was that something you always kind of latched on to as kind of your thing, or when did that kind of come about for you?
I kind of just took pride in it, basically. In the region I was in, it was a lot of, top-ranked guys, a lot of guys like that. So I just loved to, compete and guard them and go against them, on a weekly basis. So I guess the just defensive thing kind of just picked up off of that.
And you mentioned the game kind of still slowing down for you. When you started getting those starters minutes and hearing your name called and things like that, did you feel like you were ready for it? Like, was it something that you were like, oh no, I may not, is it something that you kind of had to still get used to, or was it something you felt like you were ready for, to get those amount of minutes and to hear your name called in that starting lineup?
Yeah, I felt like I was ready. Like they asked about my, body adjustment, I feel like that was the only thing that probably wasn't ready coming off of the break that I was on. But, mentally, emotionally, I was ready. I felt like I could deserve those minutes and, be effective.
Excited to see Bruce Thornton sign with Ohio State?
Yeah, I am. It's my guy.
How well do you guys know each other?
Pretty well. He's came on to visit a couple times. I know him before that just from being in the Georgia area, Milton and all that stuff. So I'm excited for Bruce to get up here.
And because you were talking about your shot blocking, who's better at blocking shots, you or EJ?
I'll probably give it to EJ. He's more in that, predicament or situation a lot more than me. So he does a great job blocking shots. He had, 4 or 5 against Iowa. So, that's something he does, which is his athleticism and everything. So I'll probably give it to EJ.
Thanks.
Thank you.